Today I was checking out my Profumo profile and going through randomly how many different perfumes I have recorded as a scent of the day. And it turns out that since I started doing that, I've officially, i.e. recorded over 600 different perfumes that I've tried, and I'm sure that I've smelled a lot more than that without, making those perfumes my scent of the day and recording them on some kind of database like Base Notes or Profumo. I started to go through the list, and every now and then I'd come across a perfume that I don't own. So I'm not going to talk about any perfumes that are already in my wardrobe, but these perfumes kind of have been living in my head rent-free. Not so much, in some cases, not so much individual perfumes, more generally to do with a brand or a house. There's a few perfumes I want to mention for different reasons because I do find myself thinking about them every now and then. That doesn't necessarily mean that I wish I'd bought them, but the first one is an example of the one perfume that I kind of regret not buying when it was available because I'm pretty sure that it's been discontinued now. It's actually from the Armani Privé line. Now, before I tell you which perfume it is, I have actually tested several of the perfumes in that particular line. Not all of them, so I might be missing out on some good ones. But generally speaking, I was pretty underwhelmed with all the ones that I'd smelled, apart from the lovely Myrrh Imperial, which I last wore maybe 2 or 3 years ago, right before it got discontinued. And I did have an opportunity to buy a bottle because it was on sale at the local department store. And it is really the one perfume I know that has been discontinued that I kind of really have a regret not getting at the time. I don't generally feel like that about a lot of perfumes that are no longer available. I sure there are perfumes that I have that I know have been discontinued and I miss them, or I will miss them. But that one is one that does live rent-free in my head because I could have had it. Other things that I think about when I was looking through the list of perfumes that I have actually tested and worn. For instance, one is the House of Bond No. 9, New York. Now, I hope that I don't get into any trouble, get my videos taken down because of this. Of all the brands I've tried, I really just don't understand the hype behind this particular brand. In particular, one perfume that was getting quite good reviews, and that was Bleecker Street. So I decided to give that one a go, and honestly, I just didn't understand what the love was about. I had tried earlier popular things like New Harlem, which for a gourmand, I guess, is okay, but that was just like something that was too sweet, almost diabetically sweet. And so Bond No. 9 and all the other ones I tried from that brand, stuff like New York Oud. I can't even remember. Admittedly, Chinatown It was not bad, but the brand overall just really did nothing for me. But on the other hand, there is another brand that probably gets a similar amount of skepticism, or I guess hate is too strong a word, but I'm not one of those people who turns up their noses at a brand like Byredo, for instance. I certainly do not like a lot of what they produce, but I have really quite enjoyed a couple of their perfumes. One being probably, I guess, a divisive one. I actually really enjoyed wearing Byredo Pulp when I had a decant of it, and also I think 1996 from Byredo is one of their best offerings. There is nothing particularly amazing or outstanding about it, but I just think it smells really good. It's well made, and I can't sort of think of anything. Oh, I guess there probably are a few things that are in that wheelhouse, but if you're, before you sort of dismiss Byredo altogether, I'd probably say give that one a smell. I think generally, though, for what their other offerings are and how they smell, I guess I can understand why people think they might be overpriced, for instance. Now, something that has been living in my mind rent-free for a little while now, and I smelled this in Milan at Exence, and this was part of the Osmotech Italian perfumery exhibition, and they had a line up of famous iconic Italian perfumes through the ages in a chronological order, and right at the end of the line, one of the most recent, Italian releases was from Laboratorio Olfattivo. This one was called simply Bergamotto. It is a Jean-Claude Elena composition, and when I smelled this, again, it's nothing amazingly groundbreaking, but it was one of the best bergamot scented perfumes I'd ever smelled, and I think probably bergamot is one of, if not my favorite citrus note in perfume, and this one I've been thinking about a lot. And I must say, the ones that I talk about here that I really like, they may not ever turn into full bottles for me, but I guess it's a good sign that I do think about them or they stuck in my mind. One that I'm certainly going to very seriously consider buying when my summer comes around again, which is months away now because we haven't even officially hit winter here in Melbourne, is from Chanel. It's from the L'Eau de Chanel range. It's Paris, Edinburgh. I first heard about this seeing posts on Instagram by a couple of people I follow whose opinion and taste I respect, and easy enough for me to go to my local department store and spray it on my arm. And needless to say, again, with the unmistakable Chanel ease and simplicity and sophistication of style, again, not complex, but that line is really, really good for what they represent, and that are just such easy to wear, happy, breezy perfumes for mostly the warmer seasons. Edinburgh really just stood out to me as being something quite special. Another perfume that I think about a lot in the green genre is from one that was released in the late 70s, and I think is still available I'm pretty sure is still available. This is Jean-Louis Cherrer. I've mentioned this perfume before. The EDT version seems to be pretty easy to find as well, but I've still got my heart set on finding an EDP version, Eau de Parfum, because that's the one that I got familiar with, and so but now I'm kind of see, this is the thing. It got me actually into green perfumes, this one, but now because of that, I'm trying other green perfumes, and of course, even Miscao's got one coming out called Feuille, and that is wonderful to my nose. So I have to kind of balance out, what I like with what I need in terms of a functional wardrobe. And just revisiting the topic of warm weather scents, I still think about this particular perfume because up until now, it is still probably what I consider the best marine scent that I have tested and smelled and tried. That's and one that I never ever expected to like based on note pyramids. So again, another reminder that note pyramids are just a guide and should really never stop you from testing something, especially when you pair it with good reviews that kind of describe the perfume as well. That is Salmaran by Healy. It is basically the best marine perfume I have ever tried. I've done a review of it, which I'll link up onto the screen. Finally, one of these two of these perfumes I'm going to talk about are from Guerlain. One I wish I had bought, like the Myrrh Imperial, but in this case I haven't because of significant price increases. Now, I really like this perfume and I would have been this close to buying a bottle if I'd bought it at older prices, but in the last 18 months or so, with repackaging, prices went up, and I'm talking about Angelique Noir, probably my very favorite vanilla-based perfume. And the other one I've also started thinking about, thanks to Osmotec and Exant again, I got to smell a recreation of original Guerlain Jiki, which I thought was amazing. And then I was told by a couple of people that actually the new version of Jiki Eau de Parfum, and anyone's free to correct me because I haven't smelt it, but the new version of Jiki Eau de Parfum is actually pretty good, pretty close to original Jiki. And so that kind of got me excited. And at the moment, that version of Jiki is actually quite difficult to find in Australia, and I'm not sure about scenarios with shipping that new line of Guerlain to Australia, but I'm sure hopefully at some point, whether it be here or in duty free or whenever I'm next in a different country, I'll keep an eye on it. And that is pretty much it. All about the perfumes that live in my head rent-free, that I don't own. Some I wish I owned, and others I'll never go near again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.